All right, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Glad you're hanging out with us here in the Hat Creek Interiors studios as we will take you from now until the show is done. Your questions, your comments coming in on the United Supermarkets, Market Street chat line, the grocery store that supports Texas Tech, that puts their name on things out of Texas Tech versus there's another store in town. Well, you get the idea. You know where their money goes. All right, we got stuff going on tonight. What is the biggest unknown about this 17th ranked Texas Tech football team going into Utah? What's the biggest unknown for you? Notice I didn't say concern. That's different. The biggest unknown, what you don't know yet. We asked you earlier this week, what do you know about this team? Now I want you to tell me what you don't know, what the biggest unknown is. We have that What If Wednesday. We're all about alt history in Raiderland. Got started about a year ago, maybe. A good friend of mine, Robert Christopher, said, "Hey, what about doing like a what if type deal?" I said, "All right, we can do that. We'll do it on Wednesdays." What if Texas and Oklahoma never left the Big 12? They're still here. Everything is the same in college football, NIL, the portal, all of that. Everything's the same. But Texas and Oklahoma are in the Big 12. Is Texas Tech better off or not? What would be different in that alternate reality universe where Texas and OU don't go to the SEC, but everything else happens that has happened up to this point? Because I would say that all of the NIL, the transfer portal, that happens regardless of conference affiliation movement or otherwise. So are we having the same conversation today about Texas Tech and Utah if Texas and Oklahoma are still in the Big 12? Anything else on your mind? Breaking late today, 2027 class rivals on three others. Four-star defensive lineman apparently in the mix. Why not? You only recruit 4 stars and 5 stars now, right? If you're Texas Tech. That's all you do. Whatever else is on your mind tonight, anything you want to talk about, fire away questions and comments. We will go as long as you guys make the conversation wonderful on the United Supermarket chat line as we hang out here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios tonight. You don't have to own a ranch to, live like it. You don't have to have a big ranch to have great ranch-style furniture. Check out hatcreek.us. They ship anywhere. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans. All you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You start your day every day with us on the website. Give you the questions of the day, the cool Raiderland hot links, brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. Processed meat, yeah, do all that. Sell you some great, meat, ribeyes, steaks, all those things. Great for your tailgate, world famous jerky, yep, all that. Go to their website there for Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post. See all they have to offer. We're also brought to you tonight by Shropshire Insurance of Texas, independent, just like all great West Texans, now available statewide. That's right. Big enough for the state of Texas, housed right here in Lubbock. Go to their website. Tell them thanks for being a part of Raiderland. And we are also brought to you by Red River Brewery and Distillery in Red River, New Mexico. They're at 8,700 feet, some of the cleanest, coolest, most awesome water that you could ever want to put into a tequila or a rum you get the idea, or beer. Red River Brewery and Distillery. Check it out this fall, this winter, as you go up there when you're hanging out with our friends at Lifts West and other places this winter and you go skiing. Red River Brewery, just an awesome place. All right, let's get it going tonight. What's the biggest unknown for Texas Tech going into Utah that you just don't know? You might think you know, but you don't know. What is it? Because it's fair to say after 3 games against Patsies and Cupcakes that there are still elements of this team. While I believe this team to be a good team, while I believe this team to be a team that should challenge to get into the Big 12 title game, and we have an elimination game this weekend, don't we? What is it? What is the unknown? Roy gets in on the old YouTube channel. Right now, it's Raiderland. Free, easy. Hit share, hit like. Everybody on YouTube, I appreciate it. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, go over to YouTube and sign up and follow. Don't cost nothing. Same thing for all of our Twitter people. We love the Twitter X people at Ryan Hyatt Media there. All right, so the O-line. The O-line pass protection has been just brutally efficient against inferior competition. What happens when all of a sudden they face good players with good scheme that can bring heat? And that's what Utah does. They bring heat. They get to the quarterback. How will they handle it? I think right off the bat, Roy gives me one of the things that I don't know yet how good this. I mean, we think they're good, right? We're told they're good. Everybody around college football says all the individual players are good. All right, Mac, what are they going to look like when they go up against a real team for the first time? Alan gets in on the YouTube channel as well. Tech didn't lose a game before Kimmel got pulled. Nice. I sincerely hope that Gutfeld has not recorded yet, and I know they have, but I hope they didn't record before the Jimmy Kimmel news broke today that ABC was yanking him indefinitely in his entire show, and they were done with that after his comments on Charlie Kirk's assassination on Monday night. The FO portion of the FA is so beautiful to watch. And hey, dear Jimmy, you helped create the rules. You get to live with them now. Joseph wants to know, how will we react? Well, I will not react at all. I'll be watching. How will we react if we have to play from behind, especially if it's in the second half? Great question. Great biggest unknown. This team has outscored their opponents 123-0. Not only have they not trailed, they haven't given up a point. I think the fair question is, let's go to the coin flip, everybody. They're in Salt Lake City at 10:53 local time, 10:55 local time, when the lead referee goes out there. This bottle of Pepsi is heads, and on this side, this is tails. Call it in the air. The opposing team in Texas Tech calls tails. Tails never fails. They win the toss. They defer to the second half. Utah gets the ball first, and Utah goes down the field in 9 plays, over 75 yards, and scores a touchdown. How does the defense react? How does the offense react? How does the entire program react? We don't know. Totally new program. But wait, Joe McGuire's been here years. Yeah, totally new program. This ain't last year. This ain't 2 years ago. This is a first-year program under NIL, under Cody Campbell. You get the idea. So I think Joseph's question right there is a very erudite football question to ask, that none of the players involved right now have ever trailed in a football game wearing scarlet and black, or white and whatever they're wearing this week, right? What's the biggest unknown for Tech football going into the weekend? For you, what is it that you don't know, that you wish you knew, that you think you'll find out? What if Wednesday, Texas and Oklahoma never leave the Big 12? We're exactly where we are in college football landscape, except Texas and Oklahoma are still in the Big 12. So did the Big 12 expand or not? Is this even a conference game or not? Would Texas Tech be where it is today, ranked 17th, about to play a conference title game, elimination game? I'm comfortable saying that I think the loser of this game, Tech and Utah, is going to have a very difficult time making it to the Big 12 title game, which means you don't get to the college football playoff, which means, yeah, pretty much the season doesn't matter. How can you say that? You're telling me you could win 10 games? Maybe even 11? And the season's a failure? Yeah, pretty much. I look at it that way anymore now. Bowls don't matter to me. JC, just backtrack to like some previous episodes. Got too involved and forgot. I'm not a poacher of free content. Patronize sponsors. Tell your favorite places to reach out and get on board. Yeah, I tell you guys the power of five every night. If just five people who watch the show, we have hundreds and hundreds, and then it gets into the thousands after a couple of days go by on the replay. If just five of you go to our sponsors like Shropshire Insurance of Texas, Red River Brewery and Distillery, they're in Red River, New Mexico, Michael Calhoun. You go to their Facebook page, you hit it and say, hey, thanks for supporting Raiderland. Heck, we had, it was Alan last weekend. He was in the Metroplex, I think it was Colleyville maybe, and went to United Supermarkets there and told the manager, thanks for supporting Raiderland, to which the manager in the Metroplex of United Supermarkets went like, son, it is way too early for you to be doing drugs. Get off the hard stuff. Hat Creek Interiors, go tell them thanks. Chris, Big 12 is worse off because Bowlesby would still be there. Tech would be where they are now because of NIL. Would they? Would Tech be where it is right now? And that's the what if. So what if questions aren't me saying, hey, I wish it was like this, or this would be good, or this would be bad. What if alt history is just basically taking a scenario and saying, okay, that summer, Texas and OU balk, and they don't go to the SEC. But then everything continues to unravel historically down the timeline we are with NIL, with transfer portal, and everything else. But the Big 12 is still the Big 12. And that would probably mean that if they don't leave, you're not expanding. Maybe you take two more teams. So who's in, right? Utah, BYU, Colorado, UCF. I mean, who are the teams, if you only go two, that you're bringing in? So let's set that aside for a moment historically and just say the Big 12 as it was constituted, plus maybe a couple other teams. We've got NIL. Would Texas Tech still be where it is right now today with Cody Campbell, Dustin Womble, with the Matador Club, with everything else? Or would it be impacted by the fact that Texas and OU are still here? I don't know. It's interesting. That's why we do What If Wednesdays. That's what alt history is all about. You take one thing and then it just spiderwebs out on a million different ways that you can't begin to comprehend on what it would have done. Chris with a good question on the ramifications if Texas and OU stay. Does USC and UCLA still bolt to the Big Ten? Probably not, right? Because the Big Ten's not in a race with the SEC that they've got to match. So maybe they don't go that direction. Or maybe the Big Ten does it first, and it's the Big Ten that comes in and says, we want USC, UCLA, Texas, and Oklahoma. We'll take all four of you, you idiots. Because remember, what was the Big Ten commissioner? Warren, maybe? Kevin Warren? I can't remember. Maybe he's not asleep at the switch, and the Big Ten presidents look at the landscape that year and go, let's go get them. And then it's the SEC scrambling. Randy Wade, are you going to broadcast from Bull of the Woods, the brewery, or complete the trifecta this fall? I'm going to be everywhere. Next time we go to Red River, I'm going to be everywhere. We'll be at the brewery. We'll be at the Bull. I may go to Tall Pine, broadcast from the lake. If I can get a good signal out there, it's hard to do. Tech would be fine. We could knock heads and beat OU in Texas this week. NIL changed the game for us. I'm not so much talking about Tech versus those two schools as much as I'm saying, okay, where would you be if would it be better? Would it be better for Texas Tech? Let me put it this way on the alt history question. Would it be better for Texas Tech with the team you have right now constructed that you got to play Texas and OU this year versus Utah, Kansas State, Arizona State, BYU? Would Texas Tech actually be better off having a great year, looking back to 2008, and you had a chance to play two of the best teams in the country? You beat one, you got your ass kicked by the other. Would you actually be in a better position trying to make the college football playoff if they were still here? Joseph, the Big 12 would have imploded instead of the Pac 12. Texas and Oklahoma would be playing the SEC just the same. Tech and West Virginia would be ACC. Tech would not be in the ACC ever on any your high. Jeff, it would be better if we were playing UT and OU this year. That's part of the equation, part of the question that, again, we're saying everything stays the same on the track of NIL, transfer portal, the world of college athletics, Cody Campbell pouring money in. You've got this roster, you've got this team. Who would it be better to be playing? We also asked the question, what's the biggest unknown for Texas Tech football going into Utah? What do you not know about this team completely? Or even incompletely? I guess it would be incompletely. And then anything else that's on your mind? Recruiting. NCAA, by the way, changing some of the regulations on the transfer portal. They're going to eliminate the spring deal. They're going to go January 2nd to the 11th. They're going to have some other language put in there. So if you're on a team that's in the playoffs, you got this 5-day window, whatever. I find it cute the NCAA is still creating these things that will immediately be challenged in court, and the NCAA will lose. So good luck with the single portal window. Good luck with that. As constructed, it will not see the light of day. The lawsuits by the players who will say this is illegal restraint of trade. Well, how can they say that? Well, they can say it because that's what it is. They're illegally keeping them from moving about to get a better job, which is all college football is anymore. That until college football embraces the NFL collective bargain agreement, allows the players to unionize, and then creates a players' union, and then the four major conferences all get together and say, we're going to work as one entity, and you sign a contract with the one entity, not with Texas, not with Tech, not with OU, not with Florida State, not with Notre Dame. You sign a contract with the Power Four Conference. And that's what you do. Because you don't sign an NFL contract with the Dallas Cowboys. You sign an NFL contract with the NFL. So today's transfer deal will be challenged in court, and the NCAA will lose. JC, not elimination, but long road to hoe. For the loser. Winner has inside track. Luckily, TCU and Baylor, they're good. They'll help with Texas Tech's margin for error. All right, so you don't play Baylor. TCU is going to be interesting. If the loser of this game cannot lose again, I think we all understand that. I still think it's problematic though, because you can't tag Baylor if you're Tech. And I'm looking at it from a Tech standpoint. Don't care about anybody else. From a Tech standpoint, you can't tag Baylor. That you thought going into the season, the teams you needed to tag would be Kansas State, which now doesn't look like you need to tag them. Arizona State, not nearly as, and I know everybody's like, yeah, you beat Arizona State last year and they went on a huge run. Cam Scatterbill ain't walking through that door. I do really think this is moderately 90% an elimination game for Tech in Utah. Jeff wants to chime in on YouTube. That's a social media platform. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland doesn't cost anything. Jump in, have fun. Biggest question this weekend is whether we can contain that running quarterback. No replays of Brad Smith in Missouri. That's how you know Jeff's old. He's going back to the Michael Jordan of college football, as Lyle Setensich referred to him there at Missouri in 2003. The answer is yes, says Randy. Traditionally, better programs and those pedigrees matter. So the answer is yes. What was the question I was asking? Was I asking, would Tech be better off if they were here or better off without? I can't remember which one it was. See, this is where I got to do a little caller clinic like Rush Limbaugh used to do. When you answer a question, it's okay to say, in answer to the question about blah, 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 here's what I think, because it gets lost in translation. I know it's a couple of extra things for you to type on your phone, Randy, but I know you can do it. He's on Twitter. He could be the fake Natalie Maines. He might be the real Natalie Maines. Does a players' union mean universities will have to consider so-called student athletes as employees? Yes, and offer them benefits. Only if it's collectively bargained in the agreement, a pay scale, and a code of conduct. Does the NFL have a code of conduct? Everything, when we talk about a collectively bargained agreement, everything would be exactly like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, everything else. It's whatever the union representing the players and the owners, i.e., college football major programs, conferences acting as one, say 4 major conferences acting as one entity. That's whatever they agree to in the collectively bargain agreement. That's how it works. No more, no less. It's whatever's agreed to. You can have a code of conduct. You cannot have a code of conduct. I would like it. The whole, what is it? Kawhi Leonard there with the Clippers and everything, and this huge scandal, but it's in the NBA and nobody really cares. The reason the NBA can go after them is because they have a collectively bargain agreement that says you can't just, have your owner funnel money to a company that doesn't exist, basically, give that to your player and circumvent the salary cap. See, right now I can do that in college football. Salary cap my ass. There is no salary. $22.5 million. We can only give them that much money. No, none of that matters. You can pay them $500 million and there's nothing you can do about it. The whole NIL collective, the Go collective, all that it's got to be, within a realistic pay scale on market. That the players didn't agree to it. It doesn't stand up in court. Everybody knows it. And that's why all the schools are still paying players whatever they want to through the collective. It's so not hard to understand if you understand how the NFL works and if you understand how collective bargaining works. But that's why the NBA can go after the Clippers, because they do have an agreement that allows them to come in and say, that's BS. And that the players have agreed to it, owners have agreed to it, and the league can come back and come down hard on it. Same thing. It happened in Las Vegas last year in the WNBA, that there were allegations that they were circumventing the salary cap by playing Las Vegas Aces players, not necessarily under the table, but outside the realm of the contract. You can't do that. There you go. David Collier from KMAC 28. And I think you're absolutely right here. I agree with this. Per your discussion last Thursday, I totally agree with what you said. I agree with your comments per last Thursday. Thank you. What's the biggest unknown for Tech football going into the Utah game? Those who want to say offensive line, I think I'm in line with that. If we want to drill down and just say, okay, position group or otherwise, because they haven't faced anybody physically that can really do anything to them. And there have been a few moments where you stuck a hand down in the turf and you couldn't exactly get, 3 yards, 4 yards just by doing it. Now you had base, vanilla, boring blocking and everything, and it's going to be different this week. Maybe I would tie that together and just say the run game. That the question, maybe the biggest unknown for me is, what will the run game look like? I think the passing game, I feel good about that. I feel good about the pass block. So maybe it's a run game on one side, and then the other side is still the secondary. That they haven't had to cover anybody. They have enjoyed great pressure on the quarterback for the most part, that limited the time the quarterbacks had to throw. That while we believe that this secondary is much improved, they got to show it, right? They got to show it. Got a few more minutes left. You can jump in. JC, Cody working on first bill that needs amendment for sports that will exempt colleges from antitrust. This goes back to the 1961 college sports broadcasting deal. That's a whole messed up deal. It'll take another 2 years to get through. Don't even worry about it. It's a mess. So zero union is good. Clearly, no. I want the players unionized because that will save college sports. That will save and allow everything that everybody wants to have happen, which is certainty, which is payroll cap, which is everything else. You have to have the players unionized. You have to have the major colleges break away from the NCAA, start their own league, and do it exactly like the NFL. And that will save college football. That the only way to save college football is to act like the NFL. If you don't, it'll never happen. I didn't read it. I've read enough of the bill and understand what wasn't in it. And I understand completely 1961, 1984, Oklahoma, 1988, 89, Texas A&M, the breakup of the NCAA broadcasting agreements with the networks that allowed cable and everything else to penetrate and do that. Even allowing college football radio networks to begin to expand and flourish in the 1980s and the 1990s. I assure you, JC, I understand the legalities, the anything regarding the broadcasting and the elements of college sports much more so than you. All right. Trust me on that. I've built a career on understanding that and working with that. No, I think I read your text. Cody working with the first bill that needs amendment for all sports that'll exempt college from antitrust, then broadcast bill, which means zero without a product, minus under 70 teams, balance schedules, etc. So there you go. Yeah, the bill is crap. It had to be pulled. It's a garbage bill, and there's nothing that Congress can really do um, that's going to be good at the end of the day. It can only happen. It can only come from the schools understanding the need to break away from the NCAA, get out of the NCAA, and get into the business of professional football and run it on their campus and run it with guardrails that'll be collectively bargained. And you go from there, and it's going to be great, and you're going to love it. And it'll be the best thing that ever happened to Texas Tech. Because I've seen the last 100 years of college football for Texas Tech. I've even seen the crappy uniform that they put together for it. I said it. That's right. It's a garbage uniform. And you don't have much to hang your hat on, do you, Tech fans, for 100 years of the crap? So why don't we embrace a new model? Why don't we rush to have a new model and do it differently and give yourself actual even footing with Oklahoma, Texas, Ohio State, all of them? Just like Green Bay has equal footing with Dallas, just like Tampa Bay has equal footing with Los Angeles, just like Denver has equal footing with Jacksonville. Except Jacksonville and Carolina, they kind of screw it up, don't they? It's not hard to do. You just got to do it. And the people in the ivory towers at the universities that are so worried about the sanctity of the student athlete and all that bullshit, you've milked your money out of them for years. You milk your money out of them for years. Turn it around. Is Houston better than Utah? Houston as a city better than Utah as a state, or Houston as a football team better than Utah? I would say, given what I've seen right now, I'd still go with Utah because I cannot abide by anything that would move Utah ahead of anything that I think is halfway decent. I think Utah is more than halfway decent. We're going to find out, though, aren't we? Now, we're just talking about Houston versus Utah. I mean, I'm not even sure Houston ought to be still considered a part of the state of Texas, honestly. Right? I mean, if we could trade like Houston into Louisiana, I don't even know what we need. We don't even need draft picks, really. It's like y'all have to deal with it now. It's your problem. You can have Houston. We're good. We'll maintain rights to the ship channel. We can hold on to that. We still get the San Jack Monument. I want to hold on to that. But I mean, the rest of it, if Louisiana really wants to take it over. All right. Same thing with El Paso for me. If New Mexico or even Old Mexico wants El Paso, I'm like, all right, you can have it. You know. Tomorrow, overrated, underrated, rated right. Thursday, we'll also ask the question. This is the biggest Texas Tech football game the Red Raiders have played since fill in the blank. All that on the show tomorrow, but in the morning on the website, theraiderland.com, it will be overrated, underrated, rated right. Thursday, we'll give you the topic in the morning. Raiderland Hot Links, brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. Your next tailgate deserves the world's greatest jerky. It deserves Jackson Brothers Meat Locker, you know? So go there. Tell them we said, hey. Oh, by the way, you can go to their website. They ship all over America. They ship all over Texas. You can even get it in El Paso and Houston, from what I've been told. Everybody else, just go to our great sponsors tonight: Shropshire Insurance of Texas, Red River Brewery and Distillery in Red River, New Mexico, United Supermarkets in Market Street, and Hat Creek Interiors, as we're live in the Hat Creek Interior studios. Get on there, tell them thanks for supporting us. The Power of Five, just 5 people do that. It's going to be awesome. We'll have this streamed for you out there. We'll post it up here in just a little bit, and then off we go in the wild blue yonder. Thanks for being out there. You guys are the best. We'll see you in the morning. TheRaiderland.com.